Let's go now, though, to the market reaction from the Trump re-election and what impact this will have on our own economic agenda in Australia. Joining me now, our Sky Business Editor, live from New York, Ross Greenwood. Well, great to have you on the show too, Ross. I'm keen for the market reaction to the Trump win, but also the likelihood that he's going to take Congress, meaning he'll actually be able to fully implement his pro-business, pro-America agenda, unlike last time.
Which is exactly, Peter, why the stock market went bonkers today. Now, it's really seen the Dow Jones Index with its best performance in 2 years, the broader market, the S&P 500, the same, the tech NASDAQ, the same. And it was interesting, the companies that were the strongest. It was companies such as the banks, which will benefit because it's expected that there'll be lots of consumer spending, that interest rates might not fall as hard, that the economy will pick up in the United States under Donald Trump. It was retail stocks because obviously more money is going to people's pockets. Company taxes will be cut, and as a result, he's almost releasing money into the US economy. And then on top of that, it was US chip makers, homemade chip makers like Intel. And the reason for that is if you're making stuff in America under Donald Trump with potentially tariffs of as great as 60% against China, then you are going to be more protected to be able to sell your goods competitively in America. What Donald Trump is really all about, Peter, is about being competitive. I think that's what people miss about him. He's a businessman. He recognises the way to get America moving is to make things in America, to employ American people, because the one thing about this is, as you've pointed out here, it was about the economy, it was about what people were feeling about job security, about prices, and really that's what they voted for, no doubt.
OK, bring it home here to Australia, because if he is going to get the corporate tax rate down to 15%, that's half of what we've got in Australia. So are we going to see a flight of capital and businesses to America? Are they going to go gangbusters and put pressure on us to do what we should do and reform?
Look, let's be honest. The Albanese government for a long time has been warned that its policies are anti-business. And that goes to industrial relations policy. It goes to environmental laws such as the banning of gold mines by Tanya Plibersek. You know, the whole issue, it's also about the demonisation of gas and oil production in Australia. The fact that they won't even countenance the idea of nuclear in Australia. You heard Anthony Albanese talking again about this. Doesn't matter what the price of it is. The fact of the matter is it's outright banned. And if the government wanted to be fair there, they'd simply lift the ban. Here in America, another area which actually went up. Strangely, oil prices on the world markets went down, and that's because the United States will end up producing more oil and gas itself, because Donald Trump will lift many of the bans that occur in parts of America. And so this is the difference between where the United States sits right now from a competitive point of view, including that tax rate, and where Australia sits. And Australia has got to become more competitive on so many of these areas. Otherwise, big multinational companies in Australia have already spoken, and they will invest their capital in the United States, in other parts of the world. And that's also the reason why in our stock market today, most companies were pretty muted in their response. But guess what? The companies that were heavily invested in the United States, they all went up. And that's because they're probably in a more fertile place to make money into the future.
Forget the pollsters, you know, follow the market like you follow the betting markets. The stock market and the betting market are the truest indicators at the moment politically, certainly out of the US. Thank you, Ross. We'll catch up when you're home.